Hey there, my friends. How's everybody doing out there today? Getting close to the end of the week here. I hope your week has gone well. We are soaked here in South Alabama. It is just, this has been a crazy rainy summer. I definitely don't remember this rainy a summer the last 5 years since I've been back in the States, and maybe not ever, but I'm finishing up that book, A New Earth by Eckhart Tolle. I don't read every day. If I'm not that slow of a reader, it's just that I'll read 30 or 40 pages one day, and then I might not read for 2 or 3 days. So I'm squeezing out every last bit of information in there, and it's been one of the best books that I have read. One of the best inspirational, spiritual books, just kind of opening my mind, making me understand some things. And the name of the video today, as you've already seen because you clicked on it, it is The Only Thing in Life That's Real. And I've been talking a lot about the now, living in the now, the present moment, and all that. And sometimes you might say, well, you've said it once, that's it, just realize it. But sometimes you'll hear something said a different way, or you'll hear somebody will tell an anecdotal story, and it'll just really sink in more and become a little bit stronger in your beliefs, or you will actually live it a little bit more, and it's not this concept. Especially over the last few years, I have struggled with regrets on the past quite a bit. After I first quit drinking 10 years ago, I probably had a kind of a period of I don't know, 3 or 4 years, maybe probably 5 years, that I was just happy not to be living that life anymore. And then I get back to the States, spending tons of time by myself, have a lot of time to get in my head, and I just start replaying these regrets of I'm not going to go into that part of it. I was a heavy drinker for 30 years. And I start really getting lost in the regrets of why I did what I did and what led me to do this stuff and blah, blah, blah. And then I just realize, and this book has really just helped me, because it's one thing that I read the other day that it was like 4 or 5 words that just really summed it up. Life is always lived now. I've got a few notes down here, so I'll be sharing with you from those when I look down. And I just wrote something else down. I think this is a quote by Eckhart Tolle, or from his book. People don't realize that now is all there ever is. There is no past or future except as a memory or or anticipation in your mind. In other words, it doesn't matter how much I go over my past or how much you go over the past. A lot of people struggle with their past, regrets and things. But no matter how much we think about that, obsess on that, regret it, have angst over it, it's never going to change anything. No matter what we did in our past, no matter the foolish decisions I made for how many years, I can't go back and unroll that. So the only thing I can do, and there's no future. There's no future. I'm not living in the future, but the future does. And I've got something else I want to read to you, so that might make this a little bit more understandable too. Because when you start talking about how the past doesn't exist and the future doesn't exist, if people try to take that completely literally in the sense that we're used to using those terms, you'll get frustrated. I even get frustrated from time to time because my mind will just start using the logic of only the now, and the past doesn't exist and the future's not real. But I read another thing, like I say, getting into the last part of this book, and this was really just made it clear. When Eckhart Tolle said, we have a primary purpose, that's our inner purpose, which concerns being, just being, who we are, our state of being. I am, not I am this or I am that, but just the I am. And a secondary, and our purpose of I am and our inner purpose is just to always be aware of the present moment, living in the present moment. And then we have a secondary purpose, which is your outer purpose, and concerns doing. So this doesn't mean, I've had people in the past, I remember one person made a comment one time that we have to think about the future. We plan for the future. It's foolish not to plan for the future. And when it comes to practical things, I'm not telling you if you're, That doesn't mean you don't have your 401k. You don't plan for your children's education. That doesn't mean that. That just means, like I say, you're starting to split hairs there. But when you think about that, you have an inner purpose and an outer purpose, a primary purpose and a secondary purpose, it makes a little bit more sense. And it doesn't, and then you don't just have to take it so literally like that. Also, too, it just I got to thinking about living in the now, and this kind of gets away from thinking about regrets in the past, but going back to, and I think in the last non-food video I was talking about Dan Millman, who wrote The Way of the Peaceful Warrior among other books, and there's a good little question he asked somebody in the book, or it's part of Way of the Peaceful Warrior, where somebody said, where it's asked, where are you? Here. When is it? Now. And it's always here and now. And another thing that Dan Millman says that just really I try to remember all the time is there are no ordinary moments. There are no ordinary moments. And that can kind of make us think about the future. Well, I think more of the future when I think of that, because we tend to always be looking forward to something. You know, there's a wedding coming up, or there's a graduation, or there's a party, or maybe you're going to turn a certain age, there's a significant birthday, or anything in the future that we're just, that's, and you put too much, or you're going on vacation. And it's okay. Like I say, we're not trying to be monks, or I'm not trying to be a monk. We're just trying to kind of like, think of this in a certain way. But one thing about those, there is no ordinary moments, that really makes that a beautiful thing is if you line up your whole life from the time you were born until the time you die, and you could go back and look through a book, basically you could go back and look at chapters from whatever age you are, maybe even whatever day it was, you're going to find out those big events, the graduations, the anniversaries, the weddings, the children being born, all these things, and they're great, and you should celebrate them, and you should enjoy them. And this is not to make it a joyless life, but as great as those things if you got to the end of your life and you were reading that book on your life, those moments might make up one chapter out of 37 chapters in your book, maybe a couple of chapters, maybe 3 or 4 chapters at the most. But most of those are just going to be with ordinary moments. And that's what life is. Life is those ordinary moments in between the big things that happen. Whatever happened this past Friday that was great that you're talking about, and that was great, and whatever you're looking forward to next month that is going to be epic, and it probably is. Do you know how many just like ordinary, everyday, beautiful things are going to happen in that time span before that great thing, before some, a significant event in your life happens? They happen every day, every moment. And when we can really get into this mindset of living in the now and an awareness of our present moment more and more every day, more often, then we come to appreciate these small things. We see the flower when we're walking up our walkway that we've never noticed before. We notice when we drive by something that we've driven by 100 times, but you're like, wow, that's really nice. So anyhow, just wanted to share those few last thoughts today. I'm going to go. I got a little bit more work to do. Probably need to go to the grocery store, buy some food, and then I'm going to finish up A New Earth. Today will be the last day, and then start on my next book, probably The 4 Agreements, and then it's on to Way of the Peaceful Warrior. But anyhow, thanks for joining me again today. Hope you like this video. I appreciate all the kind feedback on these types of videos. Y'all have a beautiful day, and I'll see you probably tomorrow or Saturday. Peace.